Watch out, world! Joshua's coming to make sure that not much happens. At least until we get the killer build on them. Greetings and salutations, my name is Deltran, helping you build killing machines so you can dominate in PvP and special hero maps. And if you want help earning all the orbs, feathers, sacred coins, and here's the game throws at you every week, consider subscribing. Let's get his digits, and the first thing we notice here is he sort of looks like a pirate. The second thing we notice here is that high BST, 164, that's incredible. Taking a look at his stat line though, it's so spread out everywhere that he just seems so mediocre. Taking a look at what he swings with at Halma is a wonderful legendary weapon that gives you the cooldown trigger counter, and then it also gets you 5 resistance, so that's really nice. That just adds to things. Moonbow is his special, which is great. Close defense 3, even better, plus 6 to defensive resistance whenever you're fighting hand to hand, fisticuff to fisticuff. And then we have wind sweep. Really? Well, you know, 35 speed is okay, but it's the new normal. I mean, it's fast for units, but it's slow for sword lords, and they're everywhere anymore. Let's take a look at the obituaries, and we can see that actually we end up being a pretty good duelist. The only people who are really holding our score down is blue, which makes sense, you know, after all, we are a red unit. Now, of course, if you take a look there at the deflector scale, it looks like we're doing well there too, but we do get whittled down a lot. As far as all of our other aggressor ratings, we're not meeting the standard to double anybody too often, unfortunately, but not the high tier units that we're looking at, and that's why B is sitting there in sword. But otherwise, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. You can see that we take care of a lot of really good threats on the field. Not too many of them are one-hit kills either, unfortunately, but those are the ones that we get. And yeah, we don't have to worry about anybody whenever we attack. But in retaliation, yeah, Ira, and there's a few blade spear users that have our number, and those are the people we have to be afraid of. At first, Joshua looks like he's in a really weird niche, but it's not that weird. And I have 2 ideas, one more present and one a little futuristic, and we're going to go and talk about those right now. The first one is that with wind sweep, with his high defense he is a wonderful counter to being baited. If you have quick riposte, he doesn't care. Usually whenever a unit has quick riposte, it's because they have a really terrible speed. You don't see it on high speed units or anything like that because there's no need to. So it's on a unit that is going to have a lower speed than Joshua. So Joshua goes up there, he gets baited by that unit, he attacks, he does not get retaliated on. He decrements his cooldown timer by 1, and that's it. So he doesn't take that kind of punishment. Now on the other turn, he did increase their cooldown timer, which sort of isn't great, but on the other hand, he takes a retaliatory hit. Now his moonbow is completely charged up, and he swings back at you, and he just trounces you. It is incredible how this works. He's just going to be dealing lots of damage on the return, and he is the best duelist in the game right now because of the way he is set up and because of his incredible BST. He has this really high stat score, and it's meant for dueling. It seems weird because he should have these stats that make him broken, but he doesn't. Instead, it just makes him a functional tank whenever he really shouldn't be a tank in a way. It's pretty interesting. Now, here's the other idea of mine, and before we go into this, I want to say that he has a great resistance, but he's terrible at tanking mages. First of all, a lot of mages are going to double him. They're going to hit that 40 speed benchmark, and he does not have that much bulk and resistance to be able to shrug it off. He has low hit points. He has low hit points for sword lords. He has low hit points for pretty much anything. So he's going to go ahead and die whenever he starts getting hit by those mages, especially the fast ones. And you know, Delthea, he's dead. He's gone. Rest in peace. So whenever it comes down to it, it looks like his resistance is almost extra until you realize he can block dragons very well. And I mean very well. He can bounce the blue dragons that are in the game right now. It is crazy that he can do this. And so I think that not only is he here to save us from the swath of quick riposte spam that we see in PvP right now, but he is here to be able to make sure that we can handle a possible future where dragons are more relevant. I mean, think about it. Think about where dragons could go. Hone dragon and fortified dragons already out there. Goad, ward. Like if they got the whole treatment, and if they got a couple extra units that did quirky things like what we've been seeing go into the other teams so far, Dragon Emblem is going to be a small nightmare. Now, enter in Joshua, who can already tank everything just fine. Even off-color things he could do very well with. he's there to help future-proof things. So we already have a unit that's going to defend us against whatever craziness is going to come our way from that. So that's the two uses Joshua has. So go out there, field him, have fun, and, you know, maybe don't die. That's what he prevents. If we're looking for cheap upgrade options, I don't have a lot here for you. First of all, reposition, as always. Everybody who knows uses reposition. If you're not using reposition, you obviously don't know. Let me inform you. Use reposition. Iceberg is a great substitution. He has that killing weapon bonus on his weapon, so you might as well take advantage of it. Use Iceberg, get yourself a wonderful hit, because after all, we don't just have a high resistance, we have a bonus on our sword to resistance. We're going to go ahead and flay so many things, especially if we're in fisticuffs. Sorry. And if you do want to replace Close Counter or something, about the only thing I can ever recommend would be Fury. It gives him stats all across the board. He needs a little speed bump to be able to help him out. He needs the bump and all of his other stats to be able to help make sure that he gets going. And it's going to be worthwhile. He's going to recover that 6 hit points that he's losing every turn from doing this, so I think it's beneficial. You want to take a chance making him a little bit better, here's a wonderful build for you. It keeps pretty much all of his old kit. We're putting Glacies on him though, and we're going to talk about that decision here in just a second. We had Defense Ploy, which we are using to figure out how his skill or his stats go, and you know, it looks like we're not doing that much better. But first of all, this stat is whenever Glacies is not going off. So what we're doing here is we're just abusing his duelist nature, using Defense Play to get a few extra damage in, but we're abusing his duelist nature to be able to charge up Glacies. And he's going to live for the most part. Looking at these obituaries, it's not so promising. This is whenever his Glacies is not charged up. 4 and 9 on offense, 5 and 13 on defense. He's definitely not a defensive phase unit, but really for the most part, we could take care of several different units. A lot of people have our number once there in the DPT. Once again, the DPT is the best of the best, things that are just brutal to face in arena. So it looks like, hey, we're not doing anything here. But now here's the nice thing. Take a look down there. A lot of the candidates that end up having quick riposte and end up having some type of stance for their A slot and a big hit, we're bouncing them. We could get baited by them, and it works out just fine. Brave Ike is down there. Black Knight is down there. Dorcas is down there. Ike is down there. I mean, those are all the people that you see with that stuff anyway, so we're able to take care of that just fine. It is worth looking at who we do kill whenever they initiate on us. Dorcas and Hector, hey, that's nice. Otherwise, yeah, don't get hit by things. It's a little brutal at first. Once you tier up to things like this, it gets pretty bad. And honestly, if you take a look here, you'll notice that a lot of these builds are going to be builds that have life and death. It's things that are going to put them up and over 40 speed, and they always have buffs in the DPT. I always calculate the enemy with buffs, and I calculate the unit that you're using as if they're an island unto themselves, and I don't actually calculate a seal unless I tell you otherwise. This is without phantom speed. This is without any other assistance from your team, so you can imagine why these scores are so abysmal while the enemy's doing so darn well. Well, that changes here. Once Glacies goes off, boom! 22 and 4. It looks like they have a run of bad luck. 15 and 8 whenever you're initiated on. That's still wonderful. I mean, just take a look at all those faces. Some of them are smiling, but let me tell you, they're all writhing with pain on the inside. The only people who could break us are Naui, because the Naui in the DPT uses Swordbreaker, because that is the best option for Naui in high competitive PvP. And also, we have a lot of other blue units there that are just super fast. They have a lot going for them. I mean, I can't fault them for killing us, but we do handle quite a lot of the field at this point in time. So you want to charge up Glacies, you want to go ahead and block where you can. In PvE maps, honestly, Joshua is going to be really awesome and easy to use. In PvP, you're going to have to definitely think about it, but when it comes down to it, he's going to be blocking and initiating on people that you normally don't have any business initiating and blocking. So he is definitely a great asset. Just utilize him well, give him a good seal, and go off to the races. And hey, do me a favor, if you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like Grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy.